Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same kind of people into your life? People who withhold love, who criticize, who make you feel like you're never enough. Or maybe you're the one who can't stop giving, sacrificing yourself until you disappear, desperately trying to earn affection that somehow always feels just out of reach. Perhaps you find yourself in relationships where you become the caretaker, the one who fixes everyone else, while your own needs remain invisible. Maybe you struggle with boundaries, saying yes when every fiber of your being screams no, because deep down you believe that love must be earned through suffering. Or perhaps it's the opposite. You've built walls so high that genuine intimacy feels impossible. You push people away before they can hurt you, yet you're haunted by a loneliness that feels ancient, primal, like it's been with you since before you could even speak. Maybe you recognize yourself in the patterns of your own family. The way you relate to your children, your partner, even yourself, carries echoes of something much older than your conscious memories. Something that shapes your deepest beliefs about love, worth, and what it means to be human. What if I told you that all of this, every relationship pattern, every wound that won't heal, every desperate search for love that feels like coming home, is connected to something Carl Jung called the mother archetype? And what if the reason you can't seem to heal these patterns is because you're trying to fix the wrong thing? Carl Jung said, "The mother is the first world of the child and the last world of the adult." He understood that our relationship with the mother archetype doesn't just influence us. It becomes the unconscious template through which we experience all love, all safety, all belonging. This video is not for those looking for simple mother blaming or quick psychological fixes. It's not for people who want to stay comfortable in their victim stories or who believe that understanding their childhood automatically heals their present. This is for those who are tired of repeating the same relationship patterns over and over again. It's for those who have tried therapy, read the books, done the work, yet still find themselves trapped in cycles that feel bigger than their conscious will. It's for those who are ready to understand that the mother wound isn't just about your personal mother. It's about something far more profound and universal. Something that Jung recognized as one of the most powerful forces shaping human consciousness. Today you'll understand what the mother archetype really is, how it operates in your unconscious, and most importantly, why traditional approaches to healing often fail. Because the truth Jung discovered is both liberating and challenging. You cannot heal the mother wound by trying to fix your relationship with your actual mother. Stay until the end, because I'll share the only approach that actually works, and it's not what you think. Most people think the mother wound is about what your mom did or didn't do. They believe that if you can understand your childhood, forgive your mother, or resolve those early hurts, you'll be free. But Carl Jung discovered something much more profound. The mother archetype isn't your personal mother. It's a universal pattern that exists in the collective unconscious of all humanity. Jung wrote, "The mother archetype forms the foundation of the so-called mother complex and appears in the personal mother, grandmother, stepmother, mother-in-law, and then in any woman who has a mother function." But it goes even deeper than that. This archetype carries within it both the great mother and the terrible mother. The nourishing, life-giving force that creates and sustains, and the devouring, overwhelming force that consumes and destroys. Every human being carries both aspects within their psyche, regardless of how perfect or terrible their actual mother was. Jung understood that we don't just have a relationship with our personal mother. We have a relationship with the archetypal mother that lives in our unconscious. This is why people with loving, supportive mothers can still struggle with the mother wound, and why people with difficult mothers can sometimes transcend their circumstances more easily than expected. The archetype operates like an invisible lens through which you experience all nurturing, all-receiving, all-feminine energy, including your own. When this archetype is wounded or underdeveloped, it doesn't matter how much healing work you do on your personal history. The archetypal wound continues to operate beneath consciousness, shaping every relationship, every attempt at self-care, every encounter with your own femininity. This shows up as the inability to receive genuine care without suspicion. It appears as the compulsive need to give until you're empty, believing that your worth depends on what you provide to others. You might recognize it in the way you sabotage good relationships, unconsciously testing whether people will abandon you like you fear they will. The wounded mother archetype creates what Jung called a mother complex, an autonomous cluster of emotions and behaviors that operates independently of your conscious will. This complex doesn't just influence your relationships, it becomes the hidden director of your life, making decisions about who you can trust, what you deserve, and how love actually works. And here's what makes this so insidious. Because the mother archetype is universal and archetypal, you can't simply think your way out of it. You can't heal it through understanding alone because it operates in the realm of symbol, emotion, and unconscious pattern. If this is making sense to you, if you're beginning to see how something larger than your personal history has been shaping your life, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. This kind of deep archetypal work requires ongoing exploration, and I'll be sharing more insights that can transform how you understand yourself and your relationships. Thank you for your support and for having the courage to look at these deeper patterns. The wounded mother archetype doesn't announce itself clearly. It operates through what feels like personality traits, relationship preferences, or just how you are. But once you understand the pattern, you'll see it everywhere. In relationships, you might find yourself constantly in one of two positions: the all-giving mother figure who attracts people who take and never reciprocate, or the eternal child seeking the perfect mother in partners who inevitably disappoint you. Sometimes you alternate between both, creating relationships that feel more like psychological dramas than genuine love. You might struggle with what Jung called participation mystique, the inability to separate your emotional state from others around you. You feel responsible for everyone's feelings, as if you're still connected by an invisible umbilical cord to every person you care about. Their pain becomes your pain. Their needs become your emergency. Or perhaps you've gone the opposite direction, becoming what Jung would recognize as identified with the negative mother archetype. You might find yourself being overly critical, controlling, or withholding, not because you're a bad person, but because the wounded archetype expresses itself through these shadow behaviors. Many people with mother wounds become addicted to crisis and drama, unconsciously recreating the emotional intensity they knew as children. Calm, steady love feels boring or unreal because the archetype associates love with struggle, earning, and emotional turbulence. The body holds these patterns too. You might struggle with receiving pleasure, nourishment, or rest. Food becomes complicated, either restrictive control or emotional chaos. Sleep becomes elusive because the nervous system never learned that it's safe to be completely vulnerable and unconscious. Professionally, you might find yourself in helping roles where you give constantly, but struggle to receive recognition or fair compensation. Or you might sabotage your success right before breakthrough moments, because the wounded archetype believes that being too powerful or successful threatens your connection to others. But here's what Jung understood that most healing approaches miss. These aren't just learned behaviors from childhood. They're expressions of an archetypal pattern that connects you to something universal in human experience. Your personal mother activated this archetype, but she didn't create it. It exists in the collective unconscious, and it will continue to operate until you engage with it at the archetypal level. This is why you can forgive your mother, understand your childhood, even have a good relationship with her now, and still find yourself trapped in the same patterns. You're trying to heal the personal level while the archetypal level remains untouched. You cannot heal the mother archetype by trying to fix your relationship with your actual mother. This is the mistake that keeps people stuck for decades in therapy, endlessly processing childhood wounds while the deeper pattern remains unchanged. Jung's approach was radically different. He understood that healing happens when you learn to relate consciously to the archetypal forces operating in your psyche. This means developing what he called active imagination, the ability to engage directly with the archetypal images and energies in your unconscious. The first principle is recognition. You must understand that you're dealing with something transpersonal. The mother archetype existed long before your personal mother was born, and it will exist long after both of you are gone. Your healing journey isn't about fixing your childhood. It's about learning to carry this archetypal energy consciously. The second principle is differentiation. You must learn to separate your personal mother from the archetypal mother. This doesn't mean dismissing your personal experiences, but recognizing that your deepest wounds and patterns are connected to something much larger than individual family dynamics. The third principle is integration. Instead of trying to eliminate the mother wound, you learn to develop a conscious relationship with both aspects of the mother archetype, the nourishing and the devouring, the creative and the destructive. Now let's get practical. Here's exactly what you need to do to begin this deeper healing process. Tool number 1, archetypal dialogue. Create a regular practice of inner dialogue with the mother archetype. In quiet meditation, invite the image of the Great Mother to appear, not your personal mother, but the universal feminine principle. Ask her, "What do you want me to understand? What gifts are you offering? What are you asking of me?" Allow images, emotions, and insights to emerge without censoring them. Tool number 2, symbol work. Pay attention to mother symbols that appear in your dreams and daily life. Oceans, caves, containers, animals with their young, the moon, fertile earth. These are ways the archetype communicates with you. When you notice these symbols, pause and ask what message they might carry about your relationship with nurturing and receiving. Tool number 3, embodied practice. Practice receiving without giving back immediately. Start small. Let someone cook for you, accept a compliment without deflecting, allow yourself to rest without earning it. Notice the discomfort, the voice that says you don't deserve it. This is the wounded archetype speaking. Breathe through it and practice receiving anyway. Tool number 4, shadow integration. Acknowledge the ways you carry the negative mother archetype. Notice when you're being controlling, critical, or withholding. Instead of judging these behaviors, understand them as expressions of the wounded feminine trying to protect itself. Bring consciousness to these moments and choose a different response. The goal isn't to become a perfect receiver or giver. It's to develop a conscious relationship with the archetypal energies that have been operating unconsciously in your life. When you can hold both the light and shadow aspects of the mother archetype with awareness, you free yourself from their unconscious control. This work requires patience and consistency because you're engaging with forces that operate outside of linear time and rational thought. Start with just 10 minutes of archetypal dialogue each week. The archetype communicates through images, emotions, and sensations more than words. Keep a journal specifically for this work. Record dreams, synchronicities, and moments when you notice the archetypal patterns playing out in your life. Over time, you'll begin to see the deeper story that your psyche is trying to tell you. Remember, this isn't about having the perfect mother or becoming the perfect nurturer. It's about carrying the mother archetype consciously instead of being possessed by it unconsciously. Some days you'll give too much, some days you'll struggle to receive. The practice is bringing awareness to these patterns without judgment. When you feel stuck, remember Jung's words. Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. This work happens in the depths of your own psyche, not in analyzing your external relationships. True healing of the mother wound doesn't mean you no longer feel the patterns. It means you recognize them as they arise and choose consciously how to respond. You develop what Jung called the transcendent function, the ability to hold opposites in creative tension without being torn apart by them. You are not your mother's daughter trying to heal from her failures. You are not your mother's son trying to earn her love. You are a human being learning to carry one of the most powerful archetypal forces in the collective unconscious. This is sacred work that connects you to something far greater than personal psychology. When you heal at this archetypal level, you don't just change your own patterns, you contribute to the healing of the mother archetype in the collective unconscious. Your conscious relationship with this energy serves not just your own healing, but the healing of future generations. The mother wound stops being something wrong with you that needs fixing, and becomes a doorway into the deepest mysteries of human love, creativity, and connection. You learn to mother yourself not from a place of lack, but from recognition of the archetypal mother that lives within your own psyche. This is individuation, not becoming someone different, but becoming who you actually are beneath the unconscious patterns that have been living your life. No therapist can do this work for you. No amount of understanding your childhood will complete it. This is a direct encounter between your conscious mind and the archetypal forces that shape human experience. It's the deepest work a human being can do. If this video has awakened something in you, write in the comments, "I am ready to meet the mother archetype consciously." Let this be your commitment to going deeper than personal history into the sacred work of carrying archetypal energy with awareness. Your healing serves not just you, but the wounded feminine in our collective consciousness. And that healing starts now, in the depths of your own psyche, where the Great Mother has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. Remember to subscribe for more deep dives into Jung's archetypal psychology, because this work of individuation is lifelong, and we're walking this path together.